superfans. I'm JD Brown and welcome back to the I Love Vampire Novels YouTube channel. Today I have a very special guest. I'm going to be chatting with Jessica Wayne, the author of Warrior of Magick. I'm also going to tell you how you can win a paperback copy of Warrior of Magick today, in addition to a $50 Amazon gift card. So stay tuned because all of that starts right now. My name is Jessica Wayne. I write high fantasy with some dark, woven in, which is more along the lines of what my new series is. I write time travel romance. I have some urban fantasy out, and all of them have a little touch of romance because, who doesn't love a good love story, especially when they have to defeat all odds to get there. So I live in Texas. I am married. I have 3 kids. My youngest is 7 months old, just turned 7 months.
How old is your oldest?
She's 7.
And then one in the middle?
Yeah, I have a 5-year-old in the middle.
That's great. That's a good age. That's the best age.
It is. It really is. And it's so bittersweet. She'll be starting school next year. And so I'm just kind of like, I'll be sad. I will have more time, to write, but I'll be sad.
Yeah, of course. Well, wait until they turn into teenagers. Oh my God.
Oh gosh.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your publishing journey. Did you always want to be a published author?
Yes. So my grandma kind of raised me on Nora Roberts. I love Nora Roberts, and her style of romance where she's got fantasy mixed in, contemporary suspense, all of it there. So I kind of from the time I was 16, I grew up on her brand of storytelling and all that. And then I ventured out into my own world of authors. And it was just something I always wanted to do. I wrote short stories and my grandma read every single one of them. And she kept pushing me to publish. She's like, you've got to get published. It'll be great. And I never did until she passed away. And then I was like, I'm going to do this. And that's Tethered Souls was born. And it was not a great first jump in because I didn't know anything about what I actually needed to have done. So I had to go back and, find a really good editor and a cover designer and everything. And so it was just kind of like playing catch up. But ever since then, I've just been writing, the stories as they come to me and then pushing them out as soon as I can.
That's wonderful, though.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it.
Obviously, you jumped into romance because of Nora Roberts, but what about the paranormal romance? What drew you to that and made you start in that direction?
Honestly, it was the ability to push boundaries. So my prophecy series, for example, I wrote, it's 5 books. It was almost 6, so I get kind of hung up there. So it's 5 books, and in the end of it, the end of the box set, I have a prequel kind of type novella following a centaur and a siren. And so that was one that was majorly pushing boundaries for me because it was 2 completely different creatures. And so I had this whole ability to create their own world. And that's what I loved about it is I get to kind of step out of my comfort zone a little bit, which is what Warrior of Magick does for me too, because it's so much darker than anything I've ever written. There's a lot more violence and all that stuff in it. And I've got so many more creatures. It just has been so fun stepping into that, that lane.
Yeah. So then what's your favorite paranormal or fantasy creature then?
Oh gosh. That's tough. I'm going to say as far as creatures go, dragons. I love dragons.
Cool.
So, but as far as humanoid type, I'm going to go with probably vampires. The idea of it. I know I like my version. And then J.R. Ward's Black Dagger Brotherhood. Oh, I love them. So they're yes, I've read that series so many times. My books, the spines are all, bent and worn, and I love them.
I think everyone does.
Oh, yes.
Okay, let's talk more about Warrior of Magick then. Can you give us a quick sort of what the premise is about, what the story is about?
So it follows Sienna, who's an assassin that's been hired by the Magic Council. And when I say hired, I use that term loosely because they more of control her by using leverage and threats and everything. And so she's hired to take out Daxon Ward, who is the last remaining member of a Guardian family. And Guardians are the only protection the realm has against creatures like werewolves and vampires and sages, which are my mages, my version of a mage, because they're resistant to the battle magic. They cannot be turned by a bite or anything like that. So they're kind of the last line of defense. And he is the last living member of any Guardian family since they were all massacred 6 months prior to Warrior Magic. Which that's the last ward, which is a prequel that I have out right now. And it follows her, you know, she's trying to track him down. She finds him, and then they end up kind of head first spiraling into this massive plot to destroy the realm structure as it is now. And so it follows their journey and takes you into this brand new world, this brand new creatures, and introduces you to all kinds of different characters and stuff like that, which was another reason why I wanted to write this series the way I did, is because I don't have just 2 main characters. I have 5 main characters, and each of them have their own storyline that they're going through, and they all kind of come into one. So it's just a really cool, complex world, and I'm really excited about it.
I really loved it. I read the book, and I couldn't put it down. It was so exciting.
Oh, yay.
So I have a lot of questions.
Yes.
So the inspiration behind the world building and maybe a little bit of the backstory, like where did that come from? What was your inspiration for the realm and the fantasy world?
Honestly, I can't pinpoint one place. I sat down, I woke up one morning, and it's like, oh my gosh, I have this great idea. And so that's when Sienna and Zane were born. It's like, okay, we've got a sage here, and then a half vampire, half sage, so that's where they came from. And then I built the rest of the world around them because they're like, cool. They just have a connection between the two of them. And so then when Daxon came into play, it added a little bit of an interesting, direction there. And so it was just kind of like I built it as I went. And then I went back and I filled in the blanks type of thing. And so it was just, I knew that I wanted a big mashup of all kinds of different creatures and everything like that. And so it just kind of came to be.
That's really cool. So in regards to Zane, was there ever at any point like the idea for him to be Sienna's love interest, or were they always just going to be friends?
So originally he was going to be her main love interest. They have so much history there that it would have been a really epic love arc, I feel like, especially, to come through everything that they went through together. But as I was formulating the story and kind of outlining the rest of the series, I realized that because of that history, I didn't want them to end up together. I wanted them to fall back to being more of just, friends, because they have so much of a backstory. I don't feel like they ever would let each other reach the full potential of who they could be, because they would be stuck on who they currently are, type of thing.
That makes sense, yeah. I just had to ask because I really like Zane.
Yeah, I love Zane. He was only supposed to be a secondary character. As I started writing, I couldn't do it. I love him so much.
He has a very fun personality. And I like that he's, half vampire, half stage, not really 100% of either.
Yes.
That was a really interesting mix. So let's talk a little bit about Daxon then, since he is the hero and the love interest. So what was your inspiration for him?
I kind of molded him. He's a little bit of everything that I look for in a romance hero. Except I more of categorize them as anti-heroes because they don't really want to be there. They're not like, oh, let's save the realm. They're kind of like, well, crap. This is and so I didn't want him to be like any of the other heroes that I've written. You have Dakota from the Prophecy series, who's very, very much a, straight and arrow. This is what's good. This is what's bad. There's no shades of gray in between. And Daxon is more of, there's a lot of gray there. Like, he's kind of like, I'm gonna, and while he has a good heart and he has good intentions, he has that selfish streak that is like, where he's like, let's just go. Why do we have to be here? Why do we have to do this? And so he he's a mashup of, just about everything, but he took a lot to create. Like, honestly, out of everybody that I wrote into the story, he was the most difficult to nail down as far as personality goes. And I think it's because in the last ward, he's like, in the prequel, he's very like, he's angry and he's got all this pent up rage, but he still has this moral code that he lives by. And then you meet him in the first part of this book, and that moral code is very, very blurred now because of what he's gone through.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that. So how many books do you think will be in this series? Do you know, or is it ongoing?
As of right now, I have 3 planned. I've actually almost finished the 3rd book, and that will as far as I know, as of right now, that will end Sienna and Daxon's arc. But I'm tossing around the idea of a Zane spinoff because, like, I don't want to let him go.
Yes. Well, my vote is yes for Zane. He's a lot of fun. Well, cool. I'm happy that there's more in the series. I'm really looking forward to, book 2, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your ideal, like, writing day? Like, do you have, like, a ritual or anything like that?
Usually I'll get up, if it's a school day, which I usually only write during the week. I try to spend the weekends with my family. So I'll get up and take my kiddo to school, and then play with my middle kid for a little bit, get the baby settled for a nap, and then I sprint. And so I'll do, hour-long sprints here and there, and just to kind of try to knock out as much words as I can. And then as soon as I hit my goal, I break. And so it's just more of a kind of try to hammer out the words as early as possible so I don't have to worry about messing up and missing a deadline.
That's cool. Do you typically write a few books before you release them?
Usually no. This has been a major try of my patience because I really want to, I wanted to get Warrior of Magick out because it was finished back in September. I finished the first book. And so it's been just kind of sitting there, edited and ready to go. And but because there's so much world building in it, I wanted to have at least book 2 and most of book 3 written. So if there was any kind of plot twists that popped up, I could make sure that they were spread evenly throughout the book.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
So I'm blanking on the name of the antagonist, but what was your inspiration for that guy? Because, oh my God, he is like so mean.
He is so mean. Again, originally in the when I wrote the prequel, I was not going to keep him. I had somebody else in mind for my big bad. And then as I finished the prequel, I was like, wow, he's a real jerk. So I wanted to keep him on through it just so I could really see him get his. But he's just kind of, again, he's one of those also that just got worse and worse as I wrote. Like, he just turned into this major, major monster as I was writing the series. So he has so many he has a very big part to play, and it's so twisted.
I also really love the fact that Sienna is old enough to, like, have known Jackson's father and kind of watched him grow up and things like that. Like, I thought that was a pretty cool spin on the whole, like, immortality thing.
Mm-hmm. I wanted her to be I wanted her to be seasoned. Like, I didn't want her to be fresh-faced and, out in the realm and this is what she's dealing with. I wanted her to be a seasoned warrior, somebody who, she's got bloody hands, like really bloody hands. And I wanted that to play a big part in it. And I didn't feel like I could do that and give her the character arc that I wanted to with keeping her, at Daxon's age. And so I played around with her age. When I first wrote the book, she was going to be 75, like, but not obviously look 75. But with, you know, Amos, it didn't quite work. And so I ended up toning down her age a little bit. And so I'm really happy with how it came out. And it gives her and Zane a little bit more of a backstory.
Yeah. I thought it was really cool because usually in paranormal romances, it's the hero who's old or like the vampire or whatever, who's like way older than the girl. So I thought it was really cool to see that kind of flip, so that the heroine was the older character, like older than the male hero. I thought that was really neat.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I feel like she has a lot to teach Daxon.
Yeah. Is there, I know your book is like way fantasy, but is there any part of the story or the characters that are based on personal experience or someone you know in real life, anything like that?
I would say no. Other than, you know, like overcoming, you know, trials and stuff like that, which everybody does. I don't, none of it's really based on anything that I have, which is another first for me, because my prophecy series, Anastasia, was heavily based on me, like my personality and everything. I put a lot of me into that story. And this one has just been kind of like a totally different project and totally different characters. And I think that's one of the reasons it's been so fun to write, because it just, I can step way away from anything that I know.
That's really cool. And it is fun to do that. I've done that myself. It's pretty, I think it is more fun to write that way.
Yes.
So what are you, I know you said Nora Roberts, but what are some of your favorite authors?
So Amanda Boucher is another of my absolute favorites. Her Kingmakers Chronicles, I freaking love it. Karen Marie Moning, her Fever series and her Highlanders, J.R. Ward. As far as indie authors go, Miranda Honfleur, I don't know how to say, I think I said her name right. Meg Ann, which I've co-written with, so that's, you know, I love her work. Cool. And then Kelly St. Clair, her Vampire Debt series is just phenomenal. And so I just kind of, I kind of read a little bit of everything in terms of that. And so I have a whole long list of favorites.
Cool. So what is your favorite thing about being a published author?
Probably, I would say reaching out, like having fans reach out and people that have read my stories and they meant so much to them that they've, you know, come through. And I had one lady send me an email, I guess it would have been about a year ago or so, and tell me that she started reading, she picked up Phoenix and was reading it during a really rough time, and it kind of helped her get through it. And that meant more to me than anything. And so that's the whole reason I started writing when I was a kid, was to kind of pull myself out of reality and put myself into this world that I could control and that I was a part of. And it was really neat to hear that other people feel that way about my books too, that it kind of gives them that extra escape. And I love that.
Yeah, that's a wonderful feeling. So do you have any advice for new writers who are trying to write their first story or trying to get published for the first time?
Keep writing and don't quit. Don't let the, you know, the heaviness of what you have to carry as far as going into the indie publishing world weigh you down. And make sure you get an editor. I learned that one the hard way.
Yeah.
So but yeah, it would just be to keep writing and to not give up, to keep pushing and pushing and, you know, until you make it happen.
Awesome. So where can our viewers find you as far as like social media, your website, things like that?
So I have a forum on my website. Yeah, I've got my my Jessica's Waynos Facebook group, which I'm very active in. That's mostly where you can find me. I have my newsletter, which I share special content with, which you'll like. I've got some newsletter episodes that I'm going to start doing where I'm going to write short, you know, prequel type stories where Zane and Sienna will, for instance, be very heavily weighted there. And just kind of do like that way my newsletter subscribers get to read, you know, special kind of bonus content. And so there's going to be a lot of that going on.
That's awesome. I'll have to join up then so I can get more of Sienna and Zane.
It was really, really hard to pull the focus from Zane, but I think you're going to be really happy with how much of him you get in book 2.
I hope so. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so is there anything else you'd like to add that we haven't touched on or discussed yet?
But no, I don't think so. It's coming out soon, and I'm really, really excited for everybody to meet these characters, and I think that you guys are really going to enjoy this new world.
I loved it. And we have the giveaway as well.
Yes.
Remind me, you're giving away a paperback and an Amazon gift card, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, so if you're watching this, make sure you check out that giveaway. I'll have links and everything set up. But yeah, I think that's it. I'm at the end of my list of questions, so if there's nothing else you want to add, I just want to say thank you for coming out and spending, 30 minutes with me.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and I'm so glad you enjoyed the book.
I really did. I really like it. I'm definitely going to buy book 2 when it comes out. When is it coming out again? Do you have a release date for book 2?
Yeah, April 7th. It's up for pre-order right now.
Oh, even better. I'm going to go over to Amazon and get it.
All right. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Bye.
Bye.
Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And like I said, Jessica Wayne is giving away a paperback copy of Warrior of Magic in addition to a $50 Amazon gift card. All you have to do to enter for your chance to win is click on the link below. That will take you to the official giveaway page where you can follow the directions to sign up and enter for your chance to win. Good luck with the giveaway, and don't forget to click that subscribe button and bell icon down below so that you don't miss any of our future book review videos and giveaways. And I will see you again real soon. Bye!